Hello. And
Yeah.
we are on. Welcome to Actors Anonymous podcast. Our special guest today is Keiko Agena. Thank you for coming on.
Agena. Oh, I'm sorry. Agena. I should have told you that.
No, it's okay.
And
I apologize. Agena.
Yes.
And what is that? Agena? I've never heard
It's
of that last name.
Okinawan.
Oh.
So it's not like you don't hear it a lot. That's why I...
Okinawan. That is so cool.
Thanks.
You were born in Hawaii, right?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Agena.
Agena.
Sorry, I will pronounce it wrong for a while. No, Agena.
It's Wessam, right?
Weesam.
No. I'm messing with you. Oh, my God.
I wish my name was mispronounceable. It's really not.
It's not.
Jordan
it's really not.
Burbank.
It's kind of hard. It would be hard to go.
Country and a city. It's just there.
I read recently Okinawa has the largest percentage of people over 100 or something like that. Mm-hmm. And I got to see some pictures of what the island looks like and everything, and it looks like paradise.
Yeah.
Have you ever been?
I haven't. I want to go. My grandma's going sometime in the end of this year, so maybe.
Is it kind of like Hawaii, though? Because Hawaii looks
I think
gorgeous.
so, yeah. That's what I hear. It's an island, so it has that kind of temperate zones. And
Right.
Yeah.
Now, did you grow up a lot of time in Hawaii, or did you just come to the mainland?
No, I was in Hawaii until high school. So, I didn't get to LA. I took a year to go to college, and then I ended up in LA in '92. So I've been here a while, but I did grow up in.
Do they get pretty severe like thunderstorms out there in the Pacific, like on the island and stuff, or is it like normal thunderstorms?
It's not really. I think I remember one hurricane. Well,
Okay.
You're occasional.
Occasional. That's I like that.
Life-threatening hurricane. Yeah.
That's a new word.
Which is occasionally.
It's occasionally.
Yeah.
Occasionally. If you should recognize Keiko from Gilmore Girls, and Gilmore Girls, the revival, which comes out, they just announced Thanksgiving, November 25th. So I'm really excited for that. That should be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited too.
What's it like coming back after?
I was just gonna ask that.
Yeah, 'cause
like
that's
to like revive a character after so many years.
Yeah, is it easy? Does it come up naturally, or like what was? First of all,
was the
when you heard, when you heard that was coming
Yeah.
back, and you were, coming back to the show, what went through your mind?
I think the first, because people had talked about wanting to do a movie for a long time, and it was a weird subject because I kept having to go, guys, there's not going to be a movie, there's not, and I felt bad about it for so long. So then even when the rumors started happening that there might be something, I'm like, guys, relax, I'm sorry, it's not going to happen. So it was like little steps, and then when it actually was happening, like there was a project that I didn't know what to say anymore. I thought, oh my gosh, that we are actually going to get a chance to, people might or might not know, but our original showrunners were not able to finish the show with us originally in 2007.
Oh, wow.
And also we didn't know that that was the final season. So there were a lot of things up in the air. It kind of got canceled at the last.
Right.
Like, we didn't know if we were coming back. So this is kind of a nice way to kind of wrap up and revisit. So sort of both of those things kind of
That's
happening for us. So I think it's a great opportunity. I never thought we would get it. So the fact that we get to do it is amazing.
That's such an awesome thing for fans. I love that today. Like a lot more of fans are dictating about what's coming back, and the studios and companies like actually making that decision to commit to letting people have their moments of finales and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I don't think it would have happened without something like Netflix.
Yeah.
Netflix they have the money, and then the format. Ours is 4 90-minute shows, so it's unusual, but there are no more rules. Like I don't think we could do like maybe a more traditional like a movie or another series would be hard. But Netflix, anything's possible.
Yeah.
I like that though, because then you've opened up the spectrum for just a different way of storytelling. Because we've been stuck in like the 30-minute or like the hour-long program for so long for television, and then it started happening a little bit with like cable TV shows such as Comedy Central, where they'd have like 15-minute segments of Robot Chicken, and you'd be like, okay, or even like the old Nickelodeon stuff where it'd be a 15-minute episode of Rugrats, which I used to watch when I was younger, and even like SpongeBob and that kind of stuff. But the reason why I'm bringing that up is Louis C.K., he almost went bankrupt. Horace and Pete, I think, is the name of the show. He basically funded all himself. Some episodes are like 40 minutes. Some episodes are 3 hours. You know what I mean? And it's like, now I want to see this piece of art, because he didn't take any notes from anybody else. It's just from his mind, and I want to know why did you feel compelled to have this episode 3 hours long? What was the story?
When is that coming out? I want to see
Horse and Pete?
Yeah.
Oh, it's already out.
Oh, shoot.
Oh.
Yeah. It's been out for a while. It didn't do well. That's why he lost a lot of money.
Oh, it didn't.
Oh, yeah, and he talks about how
well, I'm going to turn it around. Yeah. I think very highly of myself. No, but I do want to see it.
I think that's amazing, like for a creator, a storyteller like that, to just be like, you know what? No, it doesn't have to be 22 minutes long.
Yeah.
Well, that was the same thing with Rob Thomas did Veronica Mars. And that's one thing that was really great, was that the fans were like, we want the movie. They did that fundraiser. The fans helped pay for it. I mean, it's kind of crappy that like the WB didn't get to they just kind of were like, they didn't want to do it. And then but it's great to see that the fans really wanted it enough that they were happy to do it. Mm-hmm. And all the actors were on board and they went through with it. I think it's weird. Like you were saying before, like not doing a movie, it's sort of like how much money can a company make off of just a movie based off of a fandom? But now with platforms like you were saying with Netflix, it's such an awesome opportunity to revive it, and you know that those audiences are still going to be there.
Yeah. And you can only do something like that, I feel like, if you really love what you do. And I'm assuming you love acting.
I do love acting.
Yeah. So how did you get into it from the beginning?
Oh, from the beginning?
I mean, when you start taking it seriously, because I know like a lot of people, they do shows or they saw something on TV, but like whenever you really started taking it seriously, if there was a point in that where it's like, oh, like this is special. I'm always curious for those moments for other actors.
Oh, sure. Well, to be totally honest, I got introduced to acting when I was a kid, when I was 10. I did a play. It was called The Best Christmas Pageant Ever. I had 4 lines in it. I think my title was narrator. But immediately, my heart was like broken in the best possible way. Like I bawled harder than anything in between. When I had to go out and do my 4 lines, I would cry. I was crying in the wings because this was like the end of our little show. Mm-hmm. I knew I would miss it so much. And so even from that first little after school thing that I did, I knew that I just wanted to do it because I loved it. I knew the percentages. My teachers were very stark with me, I guess, even as a kid about, making money at it. So it was always, I'll do what I need to do to survive. This is my passion project. So I'm just going to keep doing it because I love it. And probably that was consistent until maybe like 2000 during Gilmore Girls, when I went, I can't just I probably have to cop to that this is my career now. But it took a little while before I said this is now what I do for a living.
And did that change how you approach the work at all?
I think it does. When your source of income is the same as what your passion is, I think things do change. Mm-hmm. Yeah, in a lot of different ways. Didn't you think so?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think one of the a possible trap for a negative cycle of that is getting into the routine of things, and how, especially nowadays, whenever we are working on something or having trouble with a project, we want that immediate result. Mm-hmm. And so that's why I brought this book. I was going to read a passage from it, and it talks about when you're on that plateau, trying to get to that next level, it's so important to just enjoy that routine sometimes, to enjoy that, like going to the gym and training, like, like that, which sometimes can feel monotonous and sometimes can feel like, do I really want to go today? Those are the times you should definitely go, kind of thing. And it's so difficult for an actor, especially nowadays, with that monotonous routine of like, not only your day job or the stuff you have to do to make a living, but also like the whenever you get an audition, you know what I mean? If it's a lot of sides, I've heard actors before go, oh, there's so many sides. And it's like, yeah, great. You have more opportunity to work now, you know what I mean? Yeah. And because those auditions might be so far in between, it's like you're not used to you know? And so that's why I think it's important every week, like go memorize something, go, you know, do that kind of stuff. So yeah, I think it changes, especially when you start taking something seriously. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of curious now. It's still in the back of my mind. But... And before we started, you talked about you had a quote that you wanted to read from.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I really want to know what this quote is. You said it's from Ira Glass.
Actually, it's pretty applicable to what we're talking about right now, but it's definitely so for people who don't know, Ira Glass does a show on NPR called This American Life, which is an incredible show. They just talk about stories and interview people, and look it up if you're not already a fan. But should I read it? It's a little long.
No, read it.
Okay.
No. I've read 20 pages on here.
We're ready.
I'm kidding.
Okay.
I'm kidding. I've read a lot. No. She's like, whoa. You just.
There's only been like once or twice where I've been like, oh wait, what? But they're good.
Sentence start?
Solid.
Okay. Well, this is a good one, I think. So this is from Ira Glass. Nobody tells this to people who are beginners. I wish someone had told me. All of us who do creative work, we get into it because we have good taste. But there is this gap. For the first couple of years you make stuff, it's just not that good. It's trying to be good. It has potential, but it's not. But your taste, the thing that got you into the game, is still killer. And your taste is why your work disappoints you. A lot of people never get past this phase. They quit. Most people I know who do interesting creative work went through years of this. We know our work doesn't have this special thing that we want it to have. We all go through this. And if you are just starting out or if you're still in this phase, you gotta know it's normal. And the most important thing you can do is to do a lot of work. Put yourself on a deadline so that every week you will finish one story. It is only by going through a volume of work that you will close that gap and your work will be as good as your ambitions. And I took longer to figure out how to do this than anyone I've ever met. It's going to take a while. It's normal to take a while. You've just got to fight your way through. I don't know what you think. Right?
That's so good.
He's able to encapsulate that feeling and that frustration and yes, I don't know how to say it better than
No,
that's
absolutely.
Perfect.
It's that, you know what's good, but you can't. It's like a baby trying to walk. They know what they want to do, but their body hasn't been.
Yeah. I was like, this is exactly how I feel up until the point where it says schedule to do one thing a week. I'm like, damn it, that's the one thing I need to do is just make sure I'm on a schedule. Like, otherwise, I'm loaded with work.
Right.
That's the frustrating part for us as actors too. It's like we have this one opportunity in an audition to showcase what we want. And everything is going against you. Everything. Think about it. You know what I mean? Like, you've never read with this person before.
Right.
The room you've never been in usually. There's just your given circumstances, just where you are physically is different and from where you've been rehearsing. And so you've got to try to recreate what you think is right for the story in that one chance. And sometimes you get a redirection. And the only thing that really makes you better just doing it over and over and over again.
Yeah. And being easy on yourself and knowing that all the people that you admire have failed so many times.
They have? Wait, what?
Yes.
Hold up.
Everyone that you admire has failed probably more times than we have.
It's funny. I feel like when I was in school, one of the biggest realizations for me was when you're sitting down and you're watching a movie, and after having learned so much about making a movie, you realize that you're watching something and the commentary will be like, well, this isn't like how I wanted this to be. And you're looking at someone like Scorsese who is like, this didn't turn out any way, shape, or form like I wanted the scene to be. And you're like, holy shit. Mm-hmm. Like $1 million movies have crappy scenes because they didn't like not maybe not crappy, but like it's just like it didn't appear the way you wanted it. Mm-hmm. And that just made me realize like everybody's work creatively as an actor, as a creator or anything, it sometimes will never meet the expectations. But the fact that you're putting yourself out there is like kind of what you're saying with that quote. Mm-hmm. You keep doing the work, you keep putting yourself forward, and you keep appreciating the concepts that you come up with, and you move forward with it.
Yeah.
And
I like what he says also about taste is that I think I'm assuming that us as actors, we see great actors and we appreciate them. We love it, maybe more than other people. We appreciate the craft. We love it. And we know what's good. We have discerning taste. And that's the thing that sometimes will get us in the end, is our good taste gets us, because we judge ourselves so harshly. The other interesting thing I think about sometimes is, because he's talking about like this gap between where you want to be and where you are right now, just to slog through it almost. But one other thing I think about sometimes is this idea of another kind of gap of who it is that you admire, and in your attempt to be like that person, almost in your attempt to mimic that person, that gap or the inability to mimic that person exactly is actually our voice, is actually the thing that makes us unique. So I think it's like appreciating that difference and not always being so hard on yourself,
Can I clarify?
Sure.
So like you're trying to emulate somebody.
Right.
And I'm not trying to necessarily copy them, but trying to follow in their path to a certain extent. And in that process, you're finding your own voice. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, even if you did try to copy someone, like let's say Scorsese. I'm not a director, but let's say you're a young director and you want to be Scorsese, and you tried to make a Scorsese film. Well, you're not going to make it. But what's interesting is maybe in that gap, in you trying to make Scorsese's film, you do things a little bit differently. You have certain constraints, and that creates something. It forces you to do something that is your way of problem solving. And amazingly enough, value that, because the way that you're going to problem solve those things is uniquely you. It's the way you're going to do it that's different than anyone else. 10 people can try to make that same movie. You're going to get 10 different versions of it. But that difference is your voice.
Yeah.
That just sparked this thing in my head where I was reading about these forgery artists for paintings. They are so good.
Yeah.
Okay. To the type of paint they use, to the canvas, to the way the canvas is put on the frame, to the brush strokes, to the colors used, to the shadings. I mean, they've forged them so well that people are like, we don't care. They look amazing. We're going to pay this much still for it. And at first you're like, oh, they're just copying that person's work. And then you realize, oh, they copied it very well, like almost indistinguishable to like professionals. Like they can't tell if it's a real or not. And that in itself is like, now they're like these masters. And for them, a lot of these like really, I'm talking about the top of the top con artists or forgery artists. They are con artists to a certain extent. They think they're paying homage to these past masters by keeping the technique alive and keeping the their works alive. So it's really interesting seeing that, like, some of the parallels, for like actors whenever they're trying to emulate like their favorite actors. Or we just had somebody on the show, Jason Kay, who won the competition for impressions. He's an impressionist.
Oh, cool.
And there's just so many technical aspects that go into that, like the cadence, the volume of your voice, that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? And like that is a craft in its own.
I feel like the perfect way to sum up this conversation to a movie was, I just saw Suicide Squad last night.
Oh, don't talk, I haven't seen it.
I'm not going to talk about the movie per se, but there was an argument. There's been a huge debate over whether or not that, because everyone was absolutely in love with Heath Ledger as the Joker, that they had God, what's his name? I'm drawing a blank. Jared Leto was playing the Joker, and everyone was so concerned about his performance, what he's going to do, how he's going to be able to do it. And it was such a uniquely original performance for him. But one of the things he had said, a lot of people are complaining that the film was like, WB was like, we're going to let you guys do your version, like the director's cut, and we're going to do our version, and then we'll see which one went out. And then the WB one went out. And a lot of people are kind of disappointed with like certain aspects of the film, but it was just one of those things where they even had Jared Leto was so adamant about making his own. He was not worried about trying to portray anybody else, and they were asking him like, what was your absolute favorite thing about this movie? And he's like, the scene that was cut in the release that came out. He's just straight up like, it was my favorite scene of the any work that I've done in that movie, and it was not in the final cut. Wow. I was like, but it makes you want to go see the director's cut to see what the longer 3-hour version of that movie would be. Great movie. Definitely would suggest it. Entertaining.
I'm so sorry. I'm trying to find the connection. The
connection and how like the perception of performing and not living up to an expectation of something else.
Gotcha. Just on the opposite end of the spectrum of not emulating like somebody who already did that.
Yeah, like making it your own, like taking something that has been created by multiple platforms or like different people and still making that original concept to yourself.
Gotcha. And I think that's really important. And the only way to do that is if you are really confident in yourself and you're confident in your own voice.
Yeah, absolutely.
As you progressed in your career, did you find that you were finding your voice more often, or are you now still finding it? Is this still evolving?
Yeah, I think it is still evolving. It is a funny thing to say finding your own voices as an actor, because a lot of times we're getting a script and we're trying to fulfill someone else's voice. But I think also in other platforms, I have this podcast that I do, or I do a lot of improv, and I think you do sort of find a certain a way of being, and then starting to have confidence in that.
Absolutely. And it's called, is this the Drunk Monk one?
Oh, yeah, Drunk Monk Podcast. We get drunk and talk about Monk, the TV show.
Oh, my gosh.
I love Tony Shalhoub. I love Tony Shalhoub so much. Oh, my God.
You know what?
I love him so much.
One of my favorite episodes is?
Which one?
The not Colony. Oh, my God. The Cult. Howie Mandel.
Yes.
That's a good episode.
Oh, it is a great episode.
Have you done that yet?
No, we haven't gotten to that one yet. That is a really good one.
Oh, my God.
I love every episode where he loses touch with reality, and that is definitely one where he loses himself. And he doesn't know which way is up. He's so good.
I hope. Has Lane Kim been that kind of character for you, where you like, I'm really glad I got to bring her back?
Oh yeah, I mean, Lane Kim is the character that I've got to spend the most time with for sure, and I definitely think that getting to play her again and getting to be on that set again was very comfortable. It was it was interesting, just even being in the table read, listening to all the voices say that pitter patter was fascinating, because it just felt like there was not. There was no skip of a beat at all.
It's got to be.
It's such an interesting rhythm for that show.
Yeah, it's a very particular. Speaking of voices, she has a very particular style. Amy Sherman Palladino does, and Dan Palladino, her husband.
It's so real though. Like if you have a sibling or you have someone like really tied closely, like me and my sister will constantly be like, we stop our conversation and be like, we're talking like that kind of pattern, like
really?
It's just like back and forth, like you just like kind of like are on that wavelength. It's such a unique style of writing and presentation for actors to be able to nail that. It's just it's beautiful to me. Like I think that the way it translates from paper to person is just fantastic.
I've seen a few episodes actually of Gilmore Girls, and I actually went on your website and I saw what's on the when Lane. Spoiler alert: Lane finds out she's pregnant.
Yeah. Spoiler alert, guys! It was in 2007. Lane got pregnant.
Hey.
Yes.
Yeah. Like just that rhythm, you know what I mean? And it's just like, like it just draws you in. That's the thing. Like I was like. Oh, okay. All right. What's going on? She's going to handle this. You know what I mean? Since you were working on that show for such a long time, whenever you did other shows, like other guest spots, did you find it easier to switch off that kind of specific style and go do that show?
It's actually a little bit challenging, I would say, especially maybe when the show just ended. I do remember going into a few auditions right after and finishing the audition and going, why did I read that? I did not need to do that so quickly. I don't think anyone asked me to do that so quickly. You know?
We always ask this on the show. Is there a really bad audition story that you can tell us? Like something just mortifying?
Well, I've had this said to me. This very nice casting person looked at me and said, "Don't blame yourself on the way home." Don't beat yourself up. It's fine.
Wow.
Wait. Okay, I have to get some context. Was it a good read or was it not?
No, okay. No, it was a terrible read. I mean, she was being kind to me, and she really. It was just one of those things. Also, where I had tripped up myself, and I had it was just a conflicts of things where I had missed things and I took it over and it just I was a little bit lost. So it was a sweet thing. She said it in a sweet way, but I did remember her thinking I wasn't going to, but now maybe I will.
Everybody, I mean, eventually you just get over it, right? I mean, the drive home is miserable, but like the next day, you're fine, right?
Well, I don't know how people are. I'm sure everyone's process is different. I know that for myself, and I've gotten used to this about myself, is that I give myself it's usually like a 3-day, it's getting shorter, but a 3-day come down from just auditions in general. Auditions are hard. Especially when you want it. And I think that in order to do a good audition, you do have to want it, at least for me. You do have to get yourself into the place of, I want this, I'm ready, I'm going to put in the work to do my best for this moment. So with that much investment, it takes a while to transition out of that. The good thing about myself personally is that after that period, I have a very bad memory. So I don't hold on to it, but it does, the intensity of it does take me a little while. And I just know that about myself. So I mean, like, you know, I have a ritual where auditions good or bad, I'll call my husband and he knows, he knows when I have an audition and he'll listen to me and he's heard it all. He's heard he's heard everything, the good ones and the bad ones, but it's part of my, ritual. Oh, and then, awesome. And then, you know, a week later, it's gone.
That's really cool. You guys have a nice support system like that then.
Yeah. It's, he didn't mind doing that. Because I wouldn't if you know, if for some reason he never minds taking that call. So yeah. I appreciate that. It's a good thing for me to look forward to.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That, there was recently Constance Wu.
Oh, uh-huh.
Her article recently on, oh my gosh, what is the film? It's just coming out soon.
Great Wall.
Great Wall. Did you read that article at all?
I didn't read the article, no.
Do you know the subject matter?
Yes.
Like, we don't need saving from a white guy. You know what I mean? And
yes.
I never like to, I'm not, listen, I want there to be diversity in the business and that kind of stuff. But that movie looks a little ridiculous. Even if
the trailer. It's so
like I don't like to bash movies because I know so much work went into it. You know what I mean? But like at the same time, I'm like, okay, he's so white. The whole time he's on screen, I'm like, that's Matt Damon. It's not a character. That's Matt Damon. When he was in Interstellar, you remember when he comes out of? Did you ever see Interstellar?
I didn't see Interstellar.
Oh, okay. Do you mind if
Spoiler alert.
Okay. There's a part in the movie.
To you too.
Spoiler. There's a part in the movie where the two main characters are like talking about saving this astronaut who's like stuck on a different planet basically, and they see him like, and then you never see his face, and they just talk about this astronaut, and then they finally get to him, and he's like in this cryo chamber, and they unzip him, and he comes out, and he's like, and it's like shivering Matt Damon, and he's crying, and I'm like, it took me out of the movie completely because I'm like, oh, that's Matt Damon, man, that's not the astronaut.
You were waiting for like Anne Hathaway to be like, oh my god, 2000s actor Matt Damon, what are you doing on this other planet? Like, it just seemed so out of place.
I don't know if you had any thoughts about that or
Oh, yeah. I mean, I it's funny because this did come up because we tape Drunk Monk, but there's more of a lag time. And this is going to be a little spoiler, but I don't care because this comes out on Tuesday, I think, your podcast.
Yeah.
But Matt Damon makes an appearance on Drunk Monk podcast.
Oh, nice.
Really? Not the real Matt Damon. We don't have that kind of thing. But a Matt Damon shows up.
It's even better. Even better.
It's pretty special. It's, he saves us. He saves us that day.
Matt Damon saves you?
Well, that's his thing. He saves the
that's
Asians.
awesome, man.
So we were in need of saving. He was there to help.
Oh my gosh.
Not to bash Matt Damon too much, but I'm not bashing him. No.
Great actor.
I really like the Jason Bourne movies. So
yeah.
I think he fits that type of character very well. But it was just so, for me personally, just so off-putting, or just took me out of it. The suspension of disbelief. Even I have a pretty good suspension of disbelief. Whenever I saw him in that trailer for The Great Wall, it was just so like, wait, what?
Yeah,
it was just
it's an odd transformation.
It was the first. There's been times, but it was like it really like just unsettled me. I was like, oh man, I really couldn't find anybody else.
The movie theater I went to that showed the trailer for that, everyone was laughing.
Oh,
like everyone
really?
was everyone was laughing when he came on screen because the way they set it up was like, this is ancient China. And it's going to be this amazing movie, and we're really serious. We need a hero. And it's like, they could have just put, we need a hero in the background, because the way he walked out of that scene, you're just like, what is happening right now? Is this like an SNL sketch? Like,
if they would have cast that properly, I think I would have been more interested to see the movie, because that's like my type of movie. I like to go see this type of movies. Yeah. And especially the way they didn't show the monster, they just showed like the like a foot or something. I was like, oh, thank you for not revealing too much.
Yeah.
Now I'm interested to see the movie. So yeah.
Yeah. One of the things, I'm just going to spoil everything that we did on
Please
Dark
do.
Monk, but one of the things we talked about on that was that it's interesting because now we watch it, and that reaction where people laughed, it's this gut reaction of that it seems odd. But I remember, I think somebody had said it's the same. Some people are the same people that worked on it that worked on Last Samurai, and I remember when that movie came out. Initially, I didn't have that gut reaction to Tom Cruise being the last Japanese samurai, and two things. Or a couple of things I thought about is that one is, wow, that's a lot of time has passed and that our perceptions have changed. And I remember that I think when that movie came out, I was so excited that there was even an Asian story at all. I think that was the feeling that I had. Like Ken Watanabe was on it. I was like, oh my God, that's incredible. But I think now time has passed and it doesn't sit right anymore.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
No. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Yeah. I just, because I totally understand why, but the story itself isn't,
Of Last Samurai?
Of Last Samurai.
Are you going to try to defend Last Samurai? Moves for you. I'm going to take you out right now.
Now, if I would have done that.
See, I can do it a little bit. I'm not Chinese, and that's really offensive anyway. But if you had done it, it would be doubly more offensive. That's what I'm talking about right now. I can do that accent.
That's the show, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm not even going to touch it.
I'm sorry. No, go ahead.
I'm a Matt Damon complexion. It's not going to be good for me. I'm going to step
please
out.
Don't say anything.
You could be.
I'm foreign enough.
You might be able to. You can transcend it a little bit.
I'll put the hair down.
I'm real quiet right now.
We're so PC on this show. It's wonderful. No, I thought that because the story itself, and I actually rewatched it recently.
Oh, cool.
And I was like, wait a minute. He's not necessarily replacing, first off, an Asian character.
Right.
Tom Cruise's character. And he's not necessarily, I'm the one who's going to save you all. Or, what's it called? Lead you into some sort of salvation. From what I rewatched the film, it was more of a, first off, two different cultures colliding completely. Mm-hmm. It was during a time era where Japan itself was transitioning into a modern age.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And this relationship between Ken Watanabe is the...
I think so. If I don't get that right, that's terrible, but I've been wrong so many times.
The leader of the samurai clan that Tom Cruise interacts with, their relationship together and what they learn from each other, and Tom Cruise being with them during their last stand because he feels like he what's the word? He feels like he's more connected to them than he was with his culture or the way he grew up.
Right.
That's what I got from it. I didn't see it as a replacement or I am the savior for samurai. But again, I'm not trying to... Go ahead, please.
No, I had a random question was like because I haven't seen the movie, but if you could remove Tom Cruise and replace him with an Asian actor, would it change the plot of the movie at all?
If you remove Tom Cruise...
Because I feel like if that's the case, then it's like, why do they bother? It's just because it was Tom Cruise.
If you remove Tom Cruise and replaced him with an Asian actor, it would be a little weird because if I'm not mistaken, he fought in the Civil War in that movie. Or not
samurai
the
sword, like the American Civil War,
or the American Civil War.
Okay.
He was an old, or he did something where
why
it was shortly after the Civil War. He was pretty messed up with his life in the beginning of the movie because he had to do a cleansing of.
Isn't Tom Cruise always good about doing that though? He's
what?
Like really, he's like someone who's really great, and then he falls from grace, and he's tormented, and then it's his striving to reclaim his glory. I mean, he's good at it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise does it better than anybody. But yeah, he's really good at that.
Oh, but you saw it as more like that for the film, another one of those type of things?
You know what it is? It's not on its own, and it's been a long time since I've seen the movie, so I'm by no means any expert on it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's more like, because who was The Last Samurai? He was... I mean,
it wasn't
about that.
It wasn't like I am the last samurai. I am Tom Cruise. It's not. From what I got from the film recently, that's not what it is.
Poorly titled.
But I think it's also like I think the general thing, because there's like a lot of different examples of this of Dances with Wolves or Last Samurai, where it's not that it's a bad story and it's not that it's a two-dimensional character, but it's that we can't tell this story unless we have a white perspective to view it through. So that person is is supposed to be our window into seeing this indigenous or different exotic culture. And the reasoning a lot of it now is that we can't make a big budget movie unless we have a star and all stars in Hollywood are Caucasian.
That's something I have a problem with. That's something I have a problem with.
It's like it's so it's just. I don't know that they could make The Last Samurai for as much money as they did back in that time, without a major Hollywood star. But it's just like that's what they keep telling the community.
Right.
Well, we want to do your movie. We want to do a movie about your culture because your culture's so cool and it's got all this fun stuff and it looks great. But we just can't put somebody in the lead role that's you know what I mean? Because we're just not there yet. We're getting there, but we're not there yet. I just want, at some point it would be cool to be there.
No, that explanation, and not yours, but when you say, we can't get there quite yet, that's a stupid explanation. Because you can. You can.
Yeah.
Now you can do that right now because there are so many stories out there, first of all, and you can find one that will work. That's not an excuse anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but I mean, we were having this discussion. This is a debate I had with somebody about the Great Wall movie, was that the actual film was done by a Chinese production company.
Simu,
and the aim was supposed to be that they are trying to capture an American audience by doing this movie, which is why they casted Matt Damon in the movie. So that was my assumption, was they were trying to make a movie that would appeal to America. However, in the process, I think it is a little bit like we're dealing with the whole issues that are going on right now. So that's why I think it does become a topical thing right now.
But it would be interesting to see if they were right.
I'm excited to see it.
They're betting that this is the way into the hearts of the American people, and maybe they're right. I don't know. I mean, if we're watching it going,
but you know what?
Their bet was a little off.
I don't know. In its defense, if that is the case, maybe it is an opportunity for more of an Asian culture to become a mainstream concept within American film.
No, maybe, but I just disagree because when you have people laughing at the trailer, something went wrong.
But are we laughing because of all the controversy behind it and it's Matt Damon, or is it just?
No,
absolutely not.
No, dude, I watched it and I was like, no. This is an Onion thing, right? They green screened his face. It was like, oh, come on. Like, I was upset.
The thing behind the wall is going to be so cool. Ben Affleck and Batman. Like he's just going to be behind the wall.
I have a different question. Yeah. Is the wall magical because it's a dragon, right, or something?
Yeah.
How is that going to stop how does the wall stop with dragon?
Can it not climb it?
I don't know.
There has to be magic. Magic wall.
Is it magic? I don't know. I'm hoping it's magic because if it's not magic,
you mean Magic Johnson, right?
It's like the Game of Thrones wall. It's like it's just.
If it's Magic Johnson in the film, I'll watch it. Just because it's at that point of ridiculousness.
He's in the wall. He's just like the man that keeps it together inside. He's like meditating.
Okay.
Copyright. It's just Actors Anonymous podcast.
Okay.
It's gonna happen.
We solved it.
Are we drunk? Is this a drunk podcast?
Yeah, guys. This is a drunk podcast.
Oh my God.
I went to Starbucks before you guys got there, and I had a little talk with Shiana, who made your drinks. There's a little bit of bourbon.
I would do
in
that.
Your coffee.
Starbucks, start serving alcohol. I will be there every morning.
Isn't there one?
Really?
No, there's one, right?
In Chicago, there's one.
Oh. I know like Chipotle does it. Some Chipotles have like the
big beers and stuff.
There was one in Chicago when I was there earlier this year that served wine, and like they had flights of wine, and they had like a cheese thing. And
Where,
they had
Chipotle?
No, a Starbucks.
At a Starbucks?
At a Starbucks. Oh, it was like the first level was like a normal one. Then you go up the stairs and there's like a whole new it was really, really cool, really fancy. And they served, if you were staying there, they would serve you in like really nice cups. Like it wasn't like the plastic.
Flights of wine.
It was really fancy. I liked it.
Where was this? In Chicago?
Oh, cool. Yeah. In the fancier part of downtown. So go there. Cool. Right now.
I want to go to there. Okay.
I want to go to there.
Tina Fey.
Yeah. I was like, I got you. I know that.
Speaking of Tina Fey, did you see those? There was some clickbait article online of if you just add Liz Lemon to all of Kanye West's tweets, they become Tracy Morgan's character. Like
it is amazing.
No.
They fit. Can you?
I'm gonna pull them up. I'm gonna read one. They are so gold. I posted that the other day.
It is so fucking hilarious. Like I was laughing out loud on my computer desk reading these. I almost said LOL. I had to like.
I LOL'd so bad right now.
Don't say LOL. So other than a drunk podcast right now, you're working on comedy.
Yeah, there's a comedy festival, a comedy festival, and it comes out at the end of this month. I'm posting about it a ton, so follow me. But it's a comedy festival where it doesn't outrightly say that it's Asian focused, but it is. We actually have a diversity showcase, which is just one single straight white guy is part of our quote unquote diversity showcase. Straight white guy. Who, by the way, is Joe Wenger. I don't know if you guys know, if you hang around UCB a lot, but he's like one of the UCB staple people. He is incredible and funny, along with all the other. There's going to be comics. Margaret Cho was there last year, stopped by, and there's going to be improv. But it's a whole weekend.
Cool.
Oh, by the way. It might be too late for people. This comes out on Tuesday, but I'll tell you about it. There's something called the American Idol contest, IDLE. I'm going to win it. I'm saying that right now. It's a space out competition. It was somebody in South Korea created this thing. Basically, 90 minutes. You can't be on your phone, can't talk to anybody, can't sleep. You have to just be, and they come by and they're going to test your pulse to see like who has the most consistent pulse to win the competition. Now I'm gonna win it. You have to
actually spaced out. Like,
how do you sign up for this?
No, you can. You guys might still. Tuesday might be too late, but you guys can still sign up for it. Yeah,
we should post it online.
Yeah, I have it posted on mine. I laid out a challenge to do this, to try to beat me. There's only 60 spots, but I think there might be some still open. Yeah.
Oh, I want to do this.
Do you think you can do well in it?
I couldn't do it. I can't.
I could do well in it. Like
I would. No way I could.
Just like go to my Zen place for 90 minutes, right?
Oh yeah, go on a DMT trip.
What's DMT?
Oh, never mind. It's a type of like
is it
hallucinating drug where you just kind of like
drug?
You just kind of Sam, wake up.
I'm dead inside, so I'll do great.
I have no feeling or ambition or regret. I'll do great.
I'm gonna have to do that.
Do it. No, do it.
So you'll be there. We're all in a room.
Be there. No, it's outside. You're gonna get official cushions. I'm gonna bring my own little apparatus. I'm gonna just cheat. I'm gonna get a little folding camping thing.
Like a poop thing.
A poop thing? What's a poop thing?
If you have to poop, you're like,
no, I'm not gonna
It's 90 minutes.
No, I'm not gonna poop in it. It's not 90 days. It's
ladies and gentlemen, Keiko is pooping on Sunday.
No.
I'm kidding.
You're just gonna sit there with an IV and like a colostomy bag. No. They're like, why did you bring all this? It's an hour and a half.
Although visually that would be great. Oh my God. Somebody needs to do that. Oh my God.
Sign him up.
If somebody rolled in an IV and go, for the photo.
I'm gonna do this.
I might have to do that.
Oh my God.
I might have to do that.
I might have to give you the prize if you show up. I mean, I'm not in charge.
Oh my God.
In my head, I'm in charge of everything. But not officially.
Do you want to hear some of these?
Yeah.
These are legit. Someone did this on Reddit. It became this big thing. But these are actual Kanye quotes on Twitter that just put Liz Lemon in front of it. And now it's basically, I got an eye on it.
Okay, you got it good? Okay.
Yeah. Liz Lemon, whatever happened to my antique fish tank?
That's absurd.
Yeah, right? Liz Lemon, ninjas are kind of cool. I just don't know any personally. Get on that.
Oh!
Liz Lemon, I hate when I'm on a flight and I wake up with a water bottle next to me. Like, great. Now I got to be responsible for this water bottle.
It's incredible.
Right? I got one more. Let me see. Liz Lemon, I wish I had a Fashion Week time machine. Now I got to learn to live with regrets.
Oh, that's beautiful. Wow, these are poetic.
It's like 100%. You can picture Tracy Morgan delivering those lines. Oh, it's beautiful. Beautiful. The things people come up with. Reddit is such a great waste of time. I don't even understand it. I just wind up just going down the rabbit hole.
There's this great GIF of Donald Trump. It's actually pronounced GIF.
It is not. He is wrong.
The guy who created it
The guy who created it is wrong.
I love it. Fight.
Wait.
Fight.
GIF is a peanut butter. GIF.
Graphic something. So if you say graphic, you're saying
stands for graphic.
See, that makes
something.
more sense then. Okay, so it is GIF. So he is wrong.
Yeah, the creator is wrong.
Calm down. Okay. Stop stabbing me underneath the table,
It's a sharp pen. I'm not. Is someone down there?
Keiko?
It's that sword she pulled out earlier.
It's Matt Damon.
He's saving us.
I'm sorry, I don't like your movie.
Oh, he went back down. Matt Damon scurried away.
He's on the other side of the wall.
He said he'll never save us again.
Pouty Matt Damon.
Oh my goodness.
Pouty Matt Damon. What was I saying? Oh yeah, Donald Trump, a GIF of him selecting a reporter, and the caption was Donald Trump selects reporters like he's choosing chocolate as a king.
Oh my God.
He literally goes like this, just.
Oh no.
This one.
He just you.
This one.
I would laugh harder if it wasn't so scary.
You know what scares me?
Terrified.
Oh, right.
What the next election is going to be like. Progressively, it's gotten, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Or have we hit a crest? Do you think that the next one will be like, all right, everybody, let's calm down?
I feel like,
or do you think it could get worse? You think it's going to get worse?
It's going to become a reality show.
Oh.
It's going to become its own show, right? I mean, there's
this week on the White House.
Question:
Donald, you see the first lady choose. Yeah.
Would you rather have Donald Trump or Kanye West as president?
Why do you do this?
See, somebody asked me this the other day, and I have my answer, but I'm gonna let you.
Kanye West.
Really?
Right. Yeah.
I know less about Kanye. I'll be honest. I know less about Kanye West than I know about Donald Trump.
I feel like he's just gonna have other people do it for him. He's not gonna do it.
Who?
Although that's probably the same thing about Trump, but it's just I did this. Great.
I don't.
Y'all just hate
I just hate that the Kardashians would be in the White House.
Oh God, that would be a reality show.
Yeah.
It'd be like the intro to like Beverly Hillbillies, but it'd be like we went from Calabasas and we moved to, and then we moved to DC. We loaded. We
It'd be exactly.
We loaded
like
up the Lexus and we moved to.
Loaded up the Lexus.
And we moved out to DC.
We're almost out of time.
All right. Hey, look at what we
we're sorry to keep you.
No, I don't mean that I've got to get out of here. I mean, like, hey, look at what we did. We did something. Take that, Ira Glass. We did something this week. We did this podcast. So there.
Oh my God.
Ira Glass is listening.
Yeah.
And
I'm sure he is.
He's a big
time
of our
fan.
Podcast.
Yeah.
He gets a little sensitive, but it's okay. Before we go, if there's, we usually ask our guests if there's one piece of advice you can give to people, the struggling artist, struggling actor. What would you say?
I would say do stuff with people that you like, regardless of whether you think it's going to make you a better actor or lead to better connections. So if that makes sense. So like, let's say there are people that you like or admire that are doing a short film or doing a podcast or doing whatever it is that they're doing. Creative people are always doing something. I bet you they need help in some way. In a small way or for their project. Be that person.
All right. I like that.
Yeah.
For the love of it.
Yeah, for the love of it, and also that well, I don't always take my own advice, but the reality of our world is that it is a world of connections and of knowing people. And I don't mean to go, to do catering on this person's web series, because then you can give them your script or try to audition in between, on their morning commute or something like that. But I do think that it's good to know and volunteer and to listen to the people that you like. Don't sell as much as you can. There will be opportunity for you to sell yourself. But go
I like that.
And listen, go and learn, go and be supportive, be of use. And be of use to the people that are creating things, because good creators will always be good creators. Be on their mind.
Right.
That's some practical advice.
I like that a lot. Especially you don't always sell,
Don't sell.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Don't go in there thinking that you're going to sell. Be aware of it and have whatever product it is that you want to show available and ready easily. But don't go in there with that on your mind and just gunning for the opportunity. It's a real.
Well, ignore the DVD reels on your windshield.
Oh yeah. That's it.
Keiko, thank you so much for coming
You're
on the
welcome.
show. If you're on, I know you're on Twitter. What's your Twitter handle for people to follow you?
Everything, or except my website, is Miss Keiko Agena. But everything is Keiko Agena. It's Keiko Agena, Agena, and I'm on the various platforms, the various things.
And Gilmore Girls revival will air November 25th, Thanksgiving, correct?
Yes.
So people should watch it. It's a great time.
Yeah, come out.
Yeah.
Come out. You don't have to go anywhere.
Stay in.
Come out to my house.
Lots of turkey. Check out Netflix.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks for coming on. Jordan, thanks for co-hosting.
Always fun. Love it. A lot. It's great. Just gonna keep doing this.
At Jordan Burbank 7.
At Jordan Burbank 7. Bye.
Right. Nikki, thanks for doing everything you do.
Thanks, Nikki.
Nikki 592. And thank you, Matt Damon, for poking me with your sharp stick underneath the table.
You might want to not.
Nope. I'm gonna leave it like that.
You're gonna own that. You're gonna own that.
I own it.
Does that mean he saved you?
Damn it.
You're indebted.
Right. Big thanks to our listeners. Hit us up at Podcast AA, our Twitter handle, actorsanonymouspodcast.com. And you can find me at WeSamKish. Always remember to listen, think, and then talk.